Dear students, good morning to one and all. Today we are going to learn ecosystem. This is Dr. Sjctnc-Pravina Mary, Department of Zoology. An ecosystem is a basic functional unit. It consists of both biotic and abiotic components. Interactions with each other and surrounding environment. In the other word, an ecosystem. An ecosystem in some total of living organisms. The process of interactions between with all part of the systems. According to Adam, an ecosystem is the basic fundamental unit of ecology, which include both the organisms and the non-living environment. It influences the properties of other and it is necessary for the maintenance of life. The term ecosystem was first coined by A.G. Tanchley in an English botanist in the year 1935. Next we are going to learn the structure of an ecosystem. It can be split into two main components. One is in biotic factors, another one is in abiotic factors. Biotic factors means including the living organisms of the environment. Example, plants, animals, bacteria, virus, etc. The biotic factors of an ecosystem depend on the abiotic factors for their survival. The biotic factors of ecosystems are classified into three main groups, namely producer, consumer, and decomposer. Then second one is the abiotic factors. The abiotic factors of an ecosystem including the non-living substances of the environment. Example, soil, water, air, light, temperature, minerals, climate, pressure, etc. We already discussed about the ecosystem it's mainly two branches. One is an abiotic and biotic factors. Biotic further divided in three different types. One is a producer, consumer, and a decomposer. The consumer again further divided in three different types. One is a primary consumer, secondary consumer, and tertiary consumer. So first we are going to learn producer. So producer means the organisms which carry out the photosynthesis constitute the producers of an ecosystem. Examples, green algae, plants, and some green bacteria, blue-green bacteria. So the next one is a consumer. Consumer are organisms which eat or devour other organisms. All animals are consumer. The consumer further divided in three or more types. One is a primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary consumer means they eat only plants, algae, and bacteria. So that is known as a primary consumer or herbivorous. Then second one is a secondary consumer. Secondary consumer, they kill and eat the herbivores. They also called carnivores. The carnivores directly depend on herbivores. It's otherwise called a primary carnivores. Then secondary carnivores are in a terrestrial ecosystems. And tertiary carnivore consumer, they kill and eat the secondary consumer. They are called a secondary carnivores. So next we are going to learn decomposer. Decomposers are organisms that break up the dead body of the plants and their waste product. They include fungi and certain bacteria. They secrete enzymes which digest and dead organisms and the debris into a small bit of molecules. These molecules are absorbed by the reducer. After taking energy, the reducer released molecules to the environment as chemical to be used again by the producer. So next we are going to learn food chain. The food chain means the sequences eaters to being eaten. That is known as a food chain. The biotic factors of ecosystems are linked together by food. For examples, the producer from the food from the herbivores, which from the food the carnivores. The various steps in food chain is called a tropical level. The energy is transferred from one tropical level to another tropic. This transfer of energy from one tropic level to another is known as an energy flow. The energy flow through food chains. The directions of arrows indicated the directions of energy flow. So next we are going to learn the food chains are two main types. One is a grassing food chain and a deciduous food chain. Grassing food chain means the food chain starts from plants, goes through the herbivorous and end in carnivorous. Then predator food chain means in predator food chain can animal capture and devour other animal. The animal which is called prey and the animal which eats other is called a predator. The third one, parasitic food chain. The plants and animals of the grazed food chain are infected by parasites. The parasites derives their energy from their host. So next we are going to learn ecological pyramids. So pyramids is the graphical representations of the number, energy, biomass of the successive tropical level of an ecosystem. Charles Eldon was the first ecologist to describe the ecological pyramid and its principle in 1927. The biomass, number and energy of organisms ranging from the producer level to the consumer level are represented in the form of pyramids is known as an ecological pyramid. The basis of ecological pyramid comprises the producer followed by the primary secondary consumers. The tertiary consumer hold and the apex. The producers generally outnumber of primary consumers and similarly the primary consumer outnumber the secondary consumer. So next we are going to learn food web. In an ecosystem, the various food chains are interconnected with each other to form a network that is known as a food web. The interlocking of many food chains is called food web. For the example, grass, grasshopper, snake. Significations of food web. Food web are very important in maintaining the stability of an ecosystem. For examples, when one type of herbivorous animal become extinct and carnivore predating on the type of may eat another type of herbivore. So next we are going to learn energy flow. Energy flow, the transfer one energy from one tropical level to another tropical level is called energy flow. So next we are going to learn types of the ecosystems. An ecosystem can be as small as an desert or big as the oceans. There are two types of ecosystems. One is a terrestrial ecosystem, another one is aquatic ecosystems. So terrestrial ecosystems are exclusively land-based ecosystems. They are different type of terrestrial ecosystems distributed around various geological zones. They are as follows. One is a forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, and desert ecosystems. So forest ecosystem, it consists of several plants, particularly trees, animals, and microorganisms that live in coordinations with the abiotic factors of the environment. Forests help in maintaining the temperature of the earth and are the major carbon sink. So next one is a grassland ecosystems. In grassland ecosystems, the vegetation is dominated by grasses and herbs. The temperate grasslands and tropical or savanna grasslands are examples of grassland ecosystems. So next we are going to learn aquatic ecosystems. Aquatic ecosystems are ecosystems present in a body of water. This can be further divided into two types. One is a freshwater ecosystem and a marine ecosystem. So freshwater ecosystem means it is aquatic ecosystems. It's including the lake, pond, streams and wetlands. This have a no salt content in contrast with the marine ecosystems. The next one is the marine ecosystems. The marine ecosystems including a sea and oceans. These have a more substantial salt content and greater biodiversity in comparisons to the freshwater ecosystem. Thank you, students.